Okay, we've gone live, everyone. Stand by. Thank you. All right, let's give a big warm wave.
Hello to everyone tuning in from YouTube, Facebook Live, and Twitch. What's up? Great to see you all. And a very special shout out to all of our participants cooking with me tonight. Thank you all so much for coming. Can you all wave at your cameras for me? Nice. We'll be scrolling through to see everyone. Hello. This is awesome, guys. Welcome to Embrace. My name is Suzanne, and today we're going to be making vegetable dolmas, which also happen to be vegan. Dolma is stuffed grape leaves, and many countries across the Mediterranean and Middle East have their own versions. Today, I will be sharing my version with you. I'm making this dish in particular because my friends have been dying for this recipe. So, here you go, guys. Enjoy. Let's start by taking inventory of what you should have in front of you. You will need 1 cup of white rice, 1 hot pepper, 1 teaspoon of Jamaican curry powder, a teaspoon of paprika, half a teaspoon of smock, a quarter teaspoon of Caribbean spice, half a bunch of dill, half a bunch of parsley, 2 tablespoons of salt, a quarter cup of canola oil, half a cup of tomato paste, 2 mini eggplants, 25 grape leaves, 2 lemons, 1 white onion, and 1 Yukon Gold potato. For the equipment, we will need 1 medium-sized pot, 2 spoons, 1 small plate to fit inside the pot, 1 large serving plate, a chopping board, 1 non-stick frying pan, a potato peeler, 1 large mixing bowl for the rice, 1 large bowl for the water and tomato paste, and 1 bowl for your onion, and 1 kettle filled to the max. The first thing you're going to do is prepare the stuffing. We will move quickly because there are a lot of steps to get through. If you ever get lost, just refer to the recipe card. Let's begin stage 1. We're going to wash our rice with water until it runs clear. You're just going to wash it and mix it around until the starch comes to the top. And just rinse it out like that. We're going to do 2 rinses. Get all that starch out. If there's a little water left in your rice, don't worry about it, just leave it. Now we're going to add our salt to the rice and let it sit on the side for now. Just add it in there. Mix that all up. Good. Next, we're going to peel and cut an onion lengthwise and set half aside and chop up the other half super fine. So we're going to cut off the top. Set that half aside. Take off any of that extra skin. good. We're gonna finally chop it up. Try to get it as small as you possibly can. Okay, now we're going to chop up your chili and set that aside as well. If you like your dolma a little bit spicier, you can add extra chili. Okay, we're just going to put these guys in a bowl. Good job, everyone. So set that aside. Now we're going to take your dill and parsley with no stems and chop it up super fine. I'm just going to do them together for the sake of time. I love the smell of fresh herbs, guys. This is my favorite smell. Okay. As your pan is heating up, we're just going to add that oil and let it heat up with it. Just like that. We'll just go back to chopping up our dill and parsley. How's everyone doing so far? Give me a thumbs up. Let me see. Great job. Okay, just a few more chops. Just let it heat up a little bit more as we're chopping. Just turn up your heat a little if it's on low. Okay. You want to check if your oil is hot. Just add one onion, and if it sizzles, then you know. But right now it isn't, so we'll just give it a couple more seconds or a few more minutes. Okay, that looks good. So we'll just transfer that dill and parsley to a bowl for now. And I have a special guest with me today, and now would be a great time to introduce you to the man with the music. He brings you back to the mountains of Hodaman with his tar, the one and only Ameen Montessori. Venzon is a mountainous region located within Kurdistan, Iraq, and Iran. It's filled with beautiful green landscapes and clear springs. Google a picture of the region, and I promise you your stress levels will go down just looking at a picture. Okay, so we've got our pan nice and hot. You can see that little piece of onion sizzling, so we'll add the finely chopped onion and the hot peppers. Well, we'll just let it fry for roughly 30 seconds or until the onions run transparent. We're going to mix it all up. Just like that. And it smells so good. So while that's cooking, I'll just grab my spices and set that up. I'll grab my tomato paste because that's the next step. While we're waiting for the onions and pepper to cook, I want to ask you guys, what's your favorite Middle Eastern dish? Drop it in the chat. Okay, yeah, okay. I'm looking at the responses. Someone said shawarma, nice. Someone said hummus. Yes, queen. Baba ganoush, nice. Okay, we're gonna give these onions a few more seconds. And then we'll add the tomato paste. For those of you at home cooking with me and you have the kit, make sure to use only 3/4 of your tomato paste as you'll use the rest for later. Okay, I think it's good now, so let's add the tomato paste. And it smells so good. I love the smell of onions. Fried onions especially. Okay, we'll set that aside for now. Just mix it around, making sure that the tomato paste doesn't burn. And we'll do this for roughly a minute. And you'll know that it's ready when the oil starts taking up that red tinge from the tomato paste. Who's loving how their kitchen is smelling? Show me a thumbs up on your screen. Nice, guys. Okay. Alrighty, now let's add that dry spices. Just add them in. Oh god, it smells so good in here. And just mix that all up, stirring, ensuring it doesn't burn. Okay. We're getting close. So all of your dry spices should be in here by now, and it looks like it's good. So the next step is to add your parsley and your dill. And we're gonna fry this with it for roughly a minute so that that dill and that tomato paste mixture uptakes all those flavors. Just like how I'm doing. And you'll know it's ready when the greens start wilting a little bit. You'll just see that in a second. Okay. Just mix it all up. This part will burn a little bit easier.
So how's it looking, Suzan?
It's looking great. Look at it.
Okay.
How
nice.
pretty that looks.
I can smell it.
Yeah? Do you like the smell? I know you don't like onions.
I don't like onions, but I love parsley and dill.
Okay, that's nice. Okay. So it looks like it's ready. So we're going to turn off our heat. Okay, we're going to grab our rice. We're going to carefully add the tomato paste mixture to our rice. Just like how I'm doing here. I'm going to put this away. Just put that here somewhere. bottom shelf? Okay. Okay. I would say this part is probably one of the most important parts, and that's just to mix all those ingredients together nicely so that every dolma roll has an equal and consistent taste. So make sure you mix it in real nice. Just like how I'm doing here. Okay. That looks good to me. So we'll set that aside for now. Our next step is to add the juice of 2 lemons to that same rice mixture. I'm going to use a lemon squeezer, but you can just use your hands at home. So cut up the lemon. I'm just going to use my hands to squeeze the lemons. And I'm going to use the other hand just to grab any of the seeds that might fall in there. Just like that. If any of the seeds fall in there, just grab it with your hands. This one's got a lot of seeds. And the last lemon. Some people don't like their dolma very sour, but I like mine sour, so that's why you got so many lemons in here. Okay. And I just see a small seed in there, so I'll grab that. Quickly rinse my hands, and we're just going to mix this all together. Okay. Okay. This looks great. So I'm just going to set it aside and let that marinate. Okay. We're now at stage 2 in the recipe card, prepping our veggies. We'll use the potato, onion, and the 2 eggplants. For now, let's turn on our kettle and boil your water. And it's on. Okay. Okay, so we're going to cut our potatoes into 1/4 inch slices, just like how I'm doing here. You don't want them too thick, or else they won't cook on time, and you don't want them too thin, or else they'll just turn to mush. Something like this. Okay, we'll set that aside. Okay, now we'll take our eggplants, and we're just going to cut the top off. And we're going to scoop out the insides using that potato peeler. I like to go around in a circle, just like that. And then cut that circle in half, and then just scoop out the inside. Be careful not to perforate the eggplant, and leave about 1/2 inch at the bottom so that the rice doesn't fall out. And leave your eggplant top for later because we're going to put it right back on. Just like that. I like to get all the seeds out of it. Just like that. Just try to get all those little tiny seeds out of it. And that's how it should look. Now on to the next one. Same technique. Circle, half, and then scoop. You get really good at this when you make dolma a lot. I know some of you are probably a little bit slower, but don't fret. You get better with practice.
Practice makes perfect, so.
Exactly. And if you don't have one of these peelers at home, you can just use a knife, but just be very careful. Okay, this one's a little bit trickier, but almost done. Okay, get all those tiny seeds out. Looks good, just like that. Okay, let's check in with you at home. Shoot me some emojis. Wow, nice. Somebody put an eggplant. I hope that. Hearts, nice, thank you. Thumbs up, thank you guys. For anyone cooking with me tonight, I want to know who you're sharing this meal with. Someone said with my daughter. Aw. With my wife and 4-month-old son. Let's hope he likes it. Someone said alone, eggplant emoji. Aw.
Well, this meal goes out to everyone who's eating by themselves. We're with you.
For the eggplants, we're just going to add a couple pinches of salt to each one just to ensure that the flavors remain consistent when we stuff them. So we're just going to grab our salt. Just a couple pinches. Just like that. And just roll it around with your finger. Evenly coat the inside. Just like that. Perfect. Okay. Let's check up on our water. Now that your water has boiled, we're going to transfer it into a bowl, and we're going to take that half onion we set aside earlier, and we're going to add it to the hot water, separating each layer. So let's do that. So carefully transfer it. And be very careful you don't burn yourself, guys. Good job. That's good. This amount of water is good. About 1/4 of the way full. Okay, we're going to take that other half onion. We're just going to separate each layer and add it to the bowl. Something like that. And we just want to wait until this softens up so it becomes a little bit easier to roll the dolma mix in. Okay. And if you have a little piece like that, just leave it on the side. You can put it in a salad or something. And we'll set that aside. Okay, now on to stage 3 of our dish, stuffing everything. We're going to grab that rice mixture, we'll bring it back here, and we're just going to start stuffing our eggplants. We're going to fill it with the rice mixture about 3/4 of the way full to ensure that the rice is able to expand. So I'll show you how it's done. So take that, about a tablespoon is enough, and just like that. Just 3/4 of the way, leaving a little space. In the meantime, we're going to turn our burner on to medium-high, and we're going to let it heat up for now, but don't put your pot on it just yet. So we'll put this pot on the side, and we're going to turn up our burner to medium just to let it heat up. Okay. We're going to grab our toothpicks, and that's just going to help us close up that eggplant. Just like right here. I'll show you guys how it's done. So we're going to fill it, put the top back on, and you're going to insert your toothpicks diagonally so it doesn't fall out. You're going to put a couple in there just to secure that top. Okay, good. Next eggplant. Just like that. I just like to tap it just to get it all the way at the bottom.
Can I put the next one in?
Already did it.
No.
Sorry. I'll let you roll an onion
Okay.
if we have time.
I like that.
Okay. Okay. Be careful not to poke yourself with the toothpicks. There's a lot of areas for injury here, but I believe in you guys. I know you can do it. Okay. In our dolma pot, we're going to add some water and oil mixture to the bottom of the pot, along with a few grape leaves to prevent our dolma wraps from sticking to the bottom. So let's do that. Just gonna add some of that oil and a little bit of that hot water just to cover the bottom slightly. Kind of like that. And we're gonna take those ripped dolma leaves that you probably have in your set, and we're gonna use those and add it to the bottom. Just cover the bottom like that. Good job. I'm going to clean this up a bit. Okay. That's good. I'll put that there. Just put that there for now. Okay. Okay. Now you're going to lay your potatoes down flat at the bottom of the pot. I'm going to create a little nice design covering the bottom. Just like this. Awesome. Our next layer will be our grape leaves, and we're going to wrap each one, and I'll show you how to do that. We're going to take a tablespoon of the rice mixture, side to side, and wrap just like that. Good. And you're going to put the flat side down. You're going to keep going. And if you have some dolmas, some grape leaves that are ripped, you can just double up on the grape leaves. Something like that. It's the perfect time for two. Ameen, quick question.
Sure.
Who taught you how to play the tar?
I picked up the tar when I was 13. Shout out to Kiavash, my first teacher. Thanks to you. But yeah.
Awesome. Ameen, do you know how to play other instruments?
Well, we have a surprise today.
What?
So, with the tar, there's also the daf, percussion instrument. And there's also another one that I play called tambur, which is actually Kurdish.
Nice.
I'm not sure if you've heard of it.
Yes.
So we have tar today, the daf, so it'll be exciting.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wherever you want to be is where you are. Let me explain. Let's say you have a goal in life, a purpose that guides you. When you break it down, you find out it's simply a series of steps that you take until you've arrived. In the process, in the very act of becoming, those small habits that you do every day, like making to-do lists, creating those flashcards for those upcoming tests, those small steps that you take are consistently revealing to yourself the person that you aspire to be. Essentially, what I'm trying to say is the person that you want to be is the person you are when you're trying to be that person. Is that confusing? Well, I used to tutor a lot throughout high school and early university years. Whenever things got difficult for a student, they would automatically quit. They would say, "Oh, I'm not smart enough," or "I'm not meant to understand this." I remember tutoring a 6-year-old girl who started crying because she couldn't understand her multiplication tables. I kept telling her something my dad would always tell me. At one point, you couldn't walk, and now you're running. I wanted her to understand that you cannot quit every time something gets difficult. Because if you do, you'll just set yourself up for failure every single time. It took a while to get her to understand this, but when she did, she finally mastered her multiplication table. All in all, if you work hard at anything, you can master it. This might sound like a reminder to you all, but mostly it's a reminder to myself, especially when it comes to cooking. Neil deGrasse Tyson, a mathematician, said that math is the language of the universe. And ever since I heard that, it made it clear why I loved math so much growing up. Because for me, it was proof that there was a God. The fact that we can find out so much about the universe with math just shows us how meticulous and beautiful the process of creation is. Now, I can never wrap my head around the fact that all this intricately and beautifully designed universe was random. I mean, how could it be? If I could teach the world one thing and one thing only, it would be math. And even though what I know about math is pretty basic compared to some people, it solidifies my belief in the unknown, in my destiny, and in my faith. Okay, now we're going to start stuffing our onions. I'm just going to dump that water, carefully making sure not to burn ourselves. And the onions should be soft by now. We're just going to take a tablespoon of the rice. We're going to add it to the onion and just roll. Just like that. And we're going to secure it with that toothpick trick I taught you earlier. Just put it in.
Remember, you're leaving one for me, so.
All right. I haven't forgot, Ameen. Just a couple toothpicks. We're going to place that in there along with the eggplant. Looks like our stovetop is sizzling. I'm not enrolled in a math program, nor do I envision myself having a career in math. But I definitely see it in my future. Kind of like my relationship with mountains. I love them, but I'm terrified of heights. In Kurdistan, mountains hold a great deal of importance in our culture. Okay, Ameen, you wanted to stuff that onion? You want to try?
So how am I doing this? Okay, so I just put it in?
Do you want to stuff it?
No, I'll just do this part of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Just diagonally. Good job.
Nice.
My sous chef. Okay. We have one last onion to go.
I can take over if you're tired.
We're all done. I hope everyone out there is doing okay. I'm very impressed with all of your skills. Look at that. We did it. How are you all doing at home? Can you show us a view of your dolmas? Nice. You guys are doing so well. I'm really impressed because this is a difficult dish to complete. Nice. So the first layer of your dish should be just the grape leaves. The second layer is going to be your eggplants, your onions. You're just going to place them in like that. And then the last layer should be your dolmas, your grape leaves, I mean. You're just going to wrap it like that, tuck them in, making sure it's all nice and stuffed out there. Okay. Oop, I forgot one eggplant. There we go. Okay. Okay, now let's take 2 tablespoons of tomato paste and add it to 3 cups of warm water and mix until the tomato paste is dissolved. Okay, this is only 2 cups, so I'm going to add a little bit more water. Just like that. And we're going to take that leftover tomato paste I mentioned earlier. We're going to add it to the water and mix. Just like that. I'm going to mix it until it dissolves. And this is going to go in the pot. Okay, I think it's good. Okay, we're going to add this to the pot slowly. And we're going to make sure that the water hits about 1 inch above the last layer. If you got a little bit of tomato paste left, it's okay, just add it in there. So my mom always taught me that the water should come up to the first joint on your finger. Just like that. So it looks like the water's a little bit low, but it's perfect because when we press it down, it's going to rise up to the top. So we're going to take that small plate and we're just going to press it down onto the dolma just like this. Just like that. And we're going to put the lid on. Okay, and place the pot onto the stovetop. Now we're going to turn up our heat to medium-high, and we're going to set a timer for approximately 20 minutes. We're going to notice that the water will boil down, but won't completely boil off, and we want the dolmas to be a little bit wet. So let's set that timer. And start. My friends and I went on a trip to Banff a few years ago. And on one of those days, we decided we'd go on a hike on a mountain. And so up and up we went. As we climbed the mountains, the pine trees climbed with us. The air got colder as we approached the frosted peaks. The sun reflecting clear, and the light was so clean. I was slower than everyone else getting to the top, counting my steps. I knew I didn't want to look around until we reached the top. That way, I gave myself no reason to stop. What would happen when I got to the peak? Well, I'd figure it out then. A few of my friends reached the summit. I could see them on the top. Once I got to the top, I took a deep breath and imagined the 6-year-old girl telling me how I couldn't walk, but now I'm running. I counted to 3 in my head and ran the last steps. I made it to the top. When I got there, I started looking out into the distance. What was all the way at the end of where I could see? How far could I see? For a moment, when I closed my eyes, I knew exactly who was out in the distance looking for me, thinking about me at the top. In that exact moment, trying to see me. What is your first memory? Drop me a line in the chat. What do you see in that memory? What do you remember? Smell? Feel? My first memory is an image I have of me in Ramadi in the El Tash refugee camp. Standing in front of mud brick houses, looking out into the barren desert. My parents spent 20 years in that camp, along with many of my uncles and aunts. Many Kurds in Iran in the 80s were displaced. All I could see was endless sand. I just kept looking onward. Where was I looking? Was I looking at me? Standing at the peak in Banff? That's how it feels. My first memory is a point of reference for how far my family and many others like us have come. No matter how hard life gets, I always go back to memory. Everything that moves me, everything that makes me, every time I go back to that image. Where do we go from here? Upwards. Steadily, confidently, we move upward. I have to admit that when I was going through middle school and high school, I used that reference point a little too excessively. I would study all the time. Even during lunches at school, I would take myself and my bag and my homework, and I would go into the study lounge and then study. Then I'd go to class, and then I'd study. Then I'd go home and study. And at times, I would even forget to eat, to the point where my mom would come in my room and say, "Eat something." And I'd say, "I can't, I'm studying." What was your guys' high school experience like? What did you do? Did you party a lot? Did you find a healthy balance between work and play? Drop me a line in the chat. Nice. That's cool. Someone said party. That's great. Someone said chess club. That's awesome. I was a part of a chess club too. Someone said I Netflixed and chilled a lot. Cool. I mean, what was your high school experience like?
As you can see, I was pretty much busy with music.
Okay.
But I want to know, what was that experience like for you? What did you learn from it?
Well, see, my dad would always tell me, you can do anything as long as you're willing to work hard at it. I wanted to show him that I was listening. Where did all that energy come from? I mean, I knew I had to do good in school to be successful in the future, but there were so many people who were successful without spending that much energy. For example, when I entered university, this is where someone would have said, I told you so. I had developed great study habits, retained so much from what I learned, but man, was I burnt out. I'm actually glad my body forced me to slow down because it forced me to go out more, hang out with my friends, develop new hobbies, and just learn to take things a little bit slower. I learned the importance of balance, something I'm still working on to this day. For the most part, I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do for a career. So when I slowed down, that gave me some time and space to figure out what my passions were. So it looks like our dolma isn't fully cooked just yet. So we're just going to give it about 10 more minutes, and we're going to take that opportunity to clean up our kitchen a little bit while Ameen plays us some beautiful music. And I encourage you to do that at home. Okay, so it looks like our dolma still needs about 5 more minutes to cook. So in the meantime, let's make a salad, or you can make any side dish that you want. That was amazing, by the way. Really great job. Excellent. What do you want in your, I know you don't like onions, so I'll put the onions after.
Pretty much anything besides the onion.
Onion, okay. Let's see what else. Yeah, no, let's do the lettuce first. Do you like spicy
I'll
food?
steal something from right here.
Yeah, go ahead. Do you like spicy food?
Yeah, so some.
Yeah?
Depends how much you put.
Do you think you'll be able to handle the
Just
spice?
like a tiny pinch is okay.
Tiny pinch? Okay. Nice. Do you know any really good Middle Eastern restaurants in the city?
There's a couple. There's a Turkish one. There are a couple Lebanese. Yeah, there's lots now. Yeah.
Yeah. I know, I remember there wasn't that many when I was younger, but now it's like the city's flourishing with like Middle Eastern and like a lot of Asian restaurants.
It really brings so much flavor.
Yeah, exactly. What are you guys making on the side? Drop it in the chat. Give us some ideas. Somebody said cucumber salad.
Yeah.
Nice. Are you guys watching any cool shows? Oh, Queen's Gambit. I love that show. Finished it. Okay, still have my tomatoes. Okay, buddy. No, you don't want onions on there, so it's just lettuce and tomato.
Beautiful. That's all I'm asking.
And salt and pepper.
Thank you.
Okay, let's look at the time. So it looks like it's pretty boiled. So we're going to lower our heat to about 2 to 3 and let the steam cook off the rest of the ingredients for roughly 15 to 20 minutes. But first, let's take out that small plate, but be very careful you don't burn yourself. Okay, you know what? Okay. Okay. No, I'll just do that. Okay.
This is really good.
Thank you. I'm glad you like it. I was gonna add those onions in there, but I'll just save that for myself.
Yeah, do that.
Okay, we'll set a timer for 15 minutes now. Oh my god. 15 minutes. Here, take more. Don't be shy. I remember barbecues at Assiniboine Park when we were kids. I'm lucky to have a huge family. At any point in my life so far, my best friends have always been my cousins. There's nothing more nourishing, nothing more peaceful than creating memories with those closest to you. We all came from the same place. We all share a sense of responsibility to where we came from. And we all knew that we always had each other's backs. Knowing that someone has your back is a wonderful feeling. It feels safe. And so we'd play under the sun, a game of tetherball, a game of soccer, catch on some days, and tag on others. The days were so much longer back then, and we enjoyed every second of it. And the food at our gatherings, oh my god. There are two things that you cannot avoid at a Kurdish gathering. One is getting roasted in a joking way, and two is having food forced on you. I imagine enjoying a plate of kebabs with my family. Family is everything to me. Consequently, it's the things you value the most in life that you are tested with. For me, that test was losing a family member. But with that monumental loss came with so much gain. We all gained a different perspective on life, one that we probably wouldn't have gained otherwise. It was the first time I ever experienced the feeling of stasis. The world seems like everything stays still for a while. Everything becomes amplified. Your fears, your goals, and your pains. When it comes to loss, it never really gets easier. You just learn to manage it better as time passes. This dish holds a special place in my heart because it was one that always brought us all together. When I started allowing myself to feel normal again, I knew I wasn't the same person as I was before. But I also knew that I was a lot stronger. I see that there is a lesson in everything. I only started gravitating towards nursing after I found myself helplessly trying to figure out and understand my brother's last moments. I wanted to help as many people that were in the same situation that my family was in. I wanted to be there for them, to comfort them, and to help them find their peace. Going into nursing taught me a very valuable lesson. I remember the very first few days of my nursing school, my nursing mentor told us that in nursing, grades were not everything. And that was really refreshing to hear because for most of my academic life, it was ingrained in my head that grades had to be perfect. The nursing educators always tell us the qualities of a great nurse are of one that cares. And that's not something that you can teach or learn in a textbook. I love my program. My peers, my professors, the staff that I work with, and the volunteers I run across. This pandemic has truly shown us how valuable these healthcare workers are, and how we really need to invest in creating a system that supports those very same people who put their health at risk to better ours. In a year, I'll be done nursing school, inshallah. And then from there, hopefully, we only go upwards. Steadily, confidently, we move upward. A few years ago, I went to speak at City Hall in support of the motion calling to condemn Bill C-21. I've never spoken in front of a crowd of politicians and concerned citizens, but I knew that I had to do it. It wasn't only my fight, but the fight of every woman that looks like me and feels like me. The bill was seeking to ban all public displays of religious symbolism, meaning that if I lived in Quebec, I wouldn't be allowed to wear my hijab as freely as I can here. I mean, how weird is that? What is it to you what I wear? Why is a veil that I choose to wear oppressive, but a government who limits opportunities not oppressive? Do you think I wear this against my will? Do you know Kurdish women? If only you could see the Kurdish women in the front lines of the fight against terrorism. My hijab is a sign of my agency. My will, my belief, my power. Do you not think it would be so much easier to stay away from the spotlight? To not be seen? It takes a lot of courage to wear the hijab, because when you do, you figure out firsthand who truly is for diversity and inclusion. And that's what I shared. At first, I was really nervous, but eventually I realized that I was meant to be there. There are mountains we are meant to climb. In this case, the peak would be what each and every single human deserves: respect. It was only City Hall, but I swear it felt like so much bigger and so much scarier. There is a Kurdish proverb that I grew up hearing a lot, and it said, "We don't have any friends but the mountains." Recently, over the years, I've seen friends in those mountains. Ones who believe in the same things that I do. That we all deserve to live freely and safely. And friends that acknowledge that our differences are what makes us stronger, and we should celebrate that. And that we only move mountains when we are united. I hope to go to Kurdistan one day, to go back to that image, to find myself in those mountains, drinking from its springs, to be in the diversity of its flora, of its people, culture, and music, and to learn more about my history. That is where I want to be, and that is what I want to reflect. Let's take out a piece of the dolma to see if it's fully cooked, and adjust the cooking time from there. You know your dish is ready when the dolma rice is not too soft and bursting with flavors. So let's grab the dolma. Okay. Okay.
Look at that.
Okay, I'm gonna taste it, but I'm gonna be careful because last time I burnt my tongue.
How is it?
Wanna try it?
Sure.
Okay, I'm gonna grab you a spoon.
You can't be the only one eating here.
Yeah, I know. And I'm hogging all of it. I'm just gonna add the onions since you're done with the salad. Good?
Wow.
Hot?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I told you I added some peppers. Okay. So our dolma is cooked now. We're going to carefully flip the pot onto a serving tray and let it sit upside down for a few minutes to ensure that the wraps unstick to the bottom of the pot. So let's turn off our heat.
So let me help you with that.
Sure. There's kind of some water, so I'm going to move this stuff around. If you have a lot of the water still remaining, you can just take some of it out and transfer it to a small bowl. So that's what we're going to do. Ooh, looks so good. Just like that. I call this the gravy, and I always use this and drizzle it back onto the dolma when I'm done. You want to try it?
Sure.
Yeah, go ahead.
Look at that smell. I'll let the chef finish the rest of it.
Okay, thanks. Just to take a little bit more out. Okay, so it looks like we got a good amount. So we'll set this aside. I'm going to show you a flipping method, but you have to be very careful. So what you're going to do, everybody, is you're going to take your serving tray, lay it flat. Careful. Grab your oven mitts. And in one swift motion, you're going to flip your pot.
Whoa.
This is the hardest part. We did it! And perfect. Oh my god. I'm just going to tap it.
I'll do some more taps for you.
Okay. Okay.
Wow.
Wow, it looks delicious. We'll just put that here. You're going to take those dolma pieces off. We don't need those guys anymore. And look at that. Look how juicy that looks. Wherever you want to be is where you are. I want to be in Kurdistan. But until then, I will keep reflecting its image wherever I go. And now, let's enjoy the mountains of delicious dolma and share a meal that we've made together. spoon go? I want to thank you again for joining me. Bye, guys. Have a great night. Thank you so much. Here, enjoy. This is for you.
Thank you. My personal chef.
Yeah, hopefully it's good. It tastes really good. I tried it already. And you eat this with your hands, so you don't really
I
need...
just died for these potatoes. It's too hot though.
Is it?
Yeah.
A spicy or a hot as in
No,
like...
hot as in temperature wise.
No, it's okay. It's not too bad. It's really good.
Very soft.
Oh my god. Have you tasted it, guys? Tell me how it tastes. Drop it in the chat. Hope you like it.
I know I like it, so.
I really like it. The onions are always my favorite part.
For me, it's the potatoes.
Yeah.
You can do anything with these.
I know, and plus it like soaks up all the flavors and like the gravy that I was mentioning.
Let me put some gravy for you.
Oh, thanks. Thank you.
The magic gravy.
Thanks.
Nice.
Thank you. Do you like the eggplants? Have you tried it yet?
No, I'm gonna take some.
Okay.
Hi, everyone. That was the end of our show. Enjoy your meal.